Behind every crime lies a story waiting to be uncovered, from chilling mysteries to untold truth. This is where the darkness comes to light.
Green buzz lights up the air, faces tense as stories tear, truth and lies like a tango dance. Justice here takes no chance. Gavel strikes, hearts beat fast, witness takes and shadows cast, whispers loud like wildfire spread, in this game none's ahead.
Oh, hello! Sorry, I was muted.
Hello.
Hi. I was gonna say good morning, but it's not good morning. It's good evening to you. Well, good afternoon for you and good evening for me. So, hello. Can you hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you. Hang on. It's playing twice for me. I have to close one of these windows. Hang on.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Good morning, good evening. I'm used to say good morning because trial starts in the morning time. But welcome in everyone from both channels, from Kathy's Gossip Room and
Welcome. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
I know. Thanks for having me too, because we're doing this on both channels. So
Yes. Both channels.
Yes, on both channels at the same time. We can do this. So then Donna Adelson, she's been on the news lately again, right?
Yes.
Crazy things has happened.
Yes.
So yes, Pickles, it's live. We are live directly from UK and
North Jersey in the house. Hello.
Exactly. So we are very much live. So she's been in the news. She's been up to I don't know, where do you want to start? Do you want to start by the very bombastic news, or
let's start backwards, because everybody in true crime world, your phone exploded yesterday, your computer, everybody was freaking all the way out. Were you freaking out when you heard it?
I was like, what is going on? I was like, what is happening right now? Because it was at the same time that Lori Daybell was getting kicked out and my phone was literally blowing off. I was on date night with the husband and I was like, what's going on? Donna Adelson is missing. She has been released. What is happening?
I honestly, listen, Tanika from over there at Tanika's 2 Cents. I love me some Miss Tanika. Tanika normally texts me. We text back and forth all the time. But she called and she was like, oh my God, Donna Adelson has been released. I'm on my way home. I'm going to be home in a few minutes. But can you look and see what you can find? And I was like, oh my God. And so I was cooking. So I'm like a spatula in one hand and the phone in the other hand. And I was like, yes, Donna Adelson had been released according to Vine and all the other notifications. Donna Adelson had received an unconditional release from the jail where she was staying in Leon County. What we didn't know at the time was that Donna was actually just transferred from one jail to another.
Right.
But what had happened was she got released from one jail. The new jail was responsible for like putting her in the computer or whatever, but they hadn't done that yet. And so everybody was like, oh, all we had was she was released.
Yeah, exactly, because I was just like, wish you and another creators were like, Dawn is out, she's out on bond, or what's happening? Charges would drop, everyone was speculating, and I was like, what is happening? Like, Dawn is out?
The system said unconditional general release, something like that, no bond. And I was like, this cannot be right. I thought she was dead. I was like, obviously, she's an older lady.
Yeah. Well,
she's about to go to
done
trial.
Any justice to her, because I saw the glow down that she had from the first mugshot to now the second one.
Honey, she is looking terrible. Wait, somebody in the comments said that in case somebody is new here, hello, new people, we should introduce ourselves.
Exactly. Sorry. We started like straight on to like, let's dive in.
Absolutely. So I am Kathy from the channel Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo. Every single morning, I jump on the internet and do 8 hours of trial. I've smashed it all down to 15 to 20 minutes and I tell you everything that happened. Like
Mm,
me and you were girlfriends just talking over the back fence or down at the Piggly Wiggly. And who are
exactly.
you, strange lady? I don't know you. Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Katya, aka TCA True Crime Addict 8. I'm a crazy addict person for true crime. I stream trials, Monday to Friday. The typical court date. I am a true crime addict indeed because I cover almost every single case, and I listen to Kathy basically as a religion in the morning. As soon as she posts her videos, I am there and I'm clicking that link. It's my ritual. I have told you this before and I still carry on. I get home around the time that you post your morning video and I'm like, I'm
Right.
there. It's like, I know it's time to go home because it's like, it's a Kathy video on there. So, yeah.
You are
Uh,
so sweet. I mean, I'm an early riser. I'm in North Jersey, just like I could literally throw a stone and hit New York City, but you're in the UK. So we're in
yes.
such different time zones. It's crazy.
Completely different time zones. Yes. I'm in UK, but originally I'm from Portugal. So I've got a crazy background and yeah. So,
That's so
yeah.
cool. That's so international. It's an international connection. We met
Indeed.
here on YouTube. Katya reached out to me and was like, "Hey, girl, hey, let's do a collaboration." I don't even remember what our first collab was. What was it? Do you remember?
Oh, it was kind of like an interview type thing that we did,
Oh,
and it was not even alive because I don't know why I was too scared at the time for some reason, and I was like, oh, okay, we'll do a video and then we'll post as a premiere, and then we'll be in a chat, and that's how I did it
oh,
because
yes.
I was too nervous for some reason. Even before this live, I was saying that I was a little bit nervous, even though I do this daily. But anyway,
That's
so
so
yeah,
sweet.
but that was like it seems ages ago, was in the beginning of my channel, so it was in the very early stages of the
But you've grown. You've gotten to over 1,000 subscribers now. Yay,
oh, so scary.
Katya! It's so wonderful.
Oh,
It's so
and you,
wonderful.
yay that you're almost at 20K, so
I'm so excited. I never thought I would. Honestly, I was happy with 100 subscribers. Just sitting here. Then I was sitting in my family room. Now I'm in my dining room. That's become my office. I
mm,
was sitting in my family room, just running my mouth every morning, like, you guys, or posting from my car outside of the gym, talking about Russell Lafite 2 years ago. It was me and 400 of my closest friends, and I was like, this is
yeah.
all I need. This is pure happiness. This is pure bliss. I don't need more. And now I'm knocking on I am less than 500 subscribers away from 20,000 subscribers, which blows my
Is
mind.
I
I'm
know
so
that is
excited.
amazing.
And we're going to
Yeah.
have a 20,000 subscriber celebration. It's actually planned for next weekend, which means I have to get 500 subscribers in about a week. I'm a little
Um,
nervous as to whether or not I'll make it, but fingers crossed, I think we'll get there. And then we have to set a new goal for me
I
and
mean,
for you.
I'm sure you're gonna get there way before that date.
Oh,
The way
God.
that I see your channel grow,
Oh,
it's
my
yes,
gosh.
absolutely you are. So I just
From
literally
your
dropped the link.
lips to beat to Tina Turner's ears. Listen, I'm lighting my Tina Turner candle. We have a prayer candle. Jesus is busy. We're not trying to bother Jesus over here.
Yes,
So we
we'll
use
go
all the
to
saints
Tina.
and angels, including Miss Tina, and periodically and from time to time, the Golden Girls. We got
um,
everybody we need.
Forrest Nelson, thank you so much for the support. 4 months, you are an amazing. Thank you very much for that. And oh wow, I didn't even see that coming in. 5 gifted on my channel. Sorry, that's my
That's
husband just in the
wonderful.
background. He needs to go away. But thank you very much for the 5 gifted, Forrest Nelson. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for that, for the support. I appreciate you, my
That's
friend.
awesome. That's
So
so awesome. I love it. I love a gifted membership. Sometime during the course of this live stream, I will also drop 5 gifted memberships. So make sure your gifting is turned on so you can receive a free gift. YouTube decides. I don't decide. Katya doesn't
yeah,
decide. We click the button, they go out. Whoever gets them, gets them. And I
I
know that
know.
one of the things that helps you get a membership is by chatting. If you
Yeah.
have lots of chat, then it ups your likelihood
Ups
that
your
you'll be gifted a
chances, yeah.
membership.
Oh, believe me, we've been
Yeah.
trying to and I say this with the nicest possible way to hit someone in chat with a gift of membership for ages, and YouTube just won't do it. And it's just like,
Yep.
oh. But anyway,
They,
so
yep. YouTube makes its own decision. So what are you
ah,
going to do? What are
yeah,
you going to do?
exactly.
You know,
You
it's
know, thank you
awesome.
very much for that. Two amazing women. Where are they? I see one.
Oh, I see too, me and you.
Aw,
So look,
thank
we were going to
you.
talk Donna Adelson, the crash course in
Yes.
Adelson family values. So let's start from the beginning. You want to start telling the story of the Adelson clan? Do you know it from the very, very beginning? How long have you been following?
Well, I've been following as long as I found your channel, because your channel is the only
Really?
place I get news from Donna Adelson, because you are the most trusted resource of Donna Adelson news. So that's where I get my news from her, from about her. All I know is, oh, Zio, thank you so much for that, girl. Are you gonna make me cry? I cry a lot when people get so. To not make me cry. Thank you very much, Zio, for that. I really, really appreciate that.
That's so
That's so
awesome.
awesome. It's raining over here. So what I know is Donna is in prison or in jail, waiting trial
Hmm.
for the it's not conspiracy to unalive her son-in-law,
Yes.
Markel, Dan Markel.
Yes.
That
Yes.
Charlie, her son, was already convicted of that as well, but the
Yes.
daughter Wendy hasn't
That
for
is
some reason.
correct. That is correct. So let's start from the beginning, right? Way back in whatever year they got married, it was a long time ago now.
Mm,
Dan Adelson marries, well, Wendy was looking for a husband, right? Her mother was like, you can have any husband you want as long as he's Jewish and meets the requirements that I have. And Wendy was like,
right.
okay. Apparently, I heard just a couple of days ago, prior to meeting Danny, she was dating black men. And I was like, oh, hang on.
Who? Wendy?
Miss Miss Wendy was down with the swirl. Yes, girl. She was out in these streets getting herself some chocolate. And I was
Oh.
like, yes, girl, I understand completely. But her mother was like, no, 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 that's not how any of this is going to go. I want some little Jewish grandbabies. And so Wendy sat down with her mother and went on J
Mm.
Date, which is the Jewish dating website. And they sort of siphoned through everybody to find her an appropriate husband. So
Oh.
she and her mother shopped for Danny and picked him out, especially because he went to Harvard and he was smart and he was attractive and all of these things. And Wendy was going to be in Washington, D.C. on some sort of internship, and Danny was in Washington, D.C. on some sort of internship. So they agreed to go on a date.
Oh wow. So
So,
Donna did not want Wendy with whoever she was with, and she wanted
right.
her to be with Dan. Right.
She wanted Wendy to be with any Jewish man. She didn't
Okay.
care, but she wanted them to be like very smart and very Jewish. And so I was like, okay. So Danny Markel was the mark,
Mm,
apparently. And Wendy was like, okay, listen, that's what mama wants. That's what mama gets. So they start
mm.
dating, they fall in love, and they're like, oh, we're going to live happily ever after. So here's the thing. Wendy was a lawyer. Danny was a lawyer, but he's like a hot shot law professor. Everybody is all about like Danny Markel, Danny Markel, Danny Markel. His name was on the lips of everybody. When Dan
Yeah.
went to get a job, nosy mama Donna was like, okay, let's get him a job down in Miami so that Wendy, her baby girl, can be
Yeah.
close to her.
Okay.
Dan interviewed all over, did not get the job in Miami, but got a job at the prestigious law school, I believe it's Florida State, up in Tallahassee. And so as a result, he
Mm.
moved up way up north, 6, 7 hours north
Oh.
of Miami. Because listen, there's different parts of Florida. There's the southern part of Florida, which
Yeah.
is like Miami and the surrounding areas. North Florida is more rural, more it's closer to like Alabama, Mississippi, a slower culture, a slower pace, all of these things. And so Wendy and her mama were like, "Oh no, we cannot be up here in this slow town with all these backwards folks. We want Miss
Right.
Wendy down being all fancy." But Wendy was like, "I'm gonna be a good, dutiful wife and do the spirit of what I'm supposed to do." And so she moved up north and
Of
got
Florida, right?
pregnant.
So they still stay
Yep,
all in Florida, still same state,
yep.
right? Okay.
Yep, they're still in Florida. I call that portion the Alabama portion of Florida because it's near
Oh.
Alabama, it's near Georgia. It's a short drive to get to these other southern states.
Yeah,
And
sorry,
they
my US geography, I apologize in advance. It is almost non-existent. Like everyone in my chat
understood.
knows that I need a US map in front of me to know what you're talking about
Okay,
because
wait.
yeah.
I have my remarkable here. Let me see if I can draw you a picture. Let me put in my passcode. Bear with me one moment. My drawing ability is pretty bad, but
Yep. Mm.
okay.
Let's put some elevator music on. No,
I
I'm
don't know if
joking.
you can see that. Wait, there's a
It's a
glare on it.
glare.
Okay, so let's do it like this, right? Here's my arm. Here's Miami.
Oh, okay, right. That's south. All
Here's
right.
Tallahassee.
Oh, wow, that is quite
It's
far
a
away.
long way away, a
Ooh.
very long way away. Now, if you drive it, it's like 6, 7 hours. Down
Oof.
here, Miami, it's all metropolitan. There's the clubs, a lot. When people leave New York, New Jersey, the rest of the country, and they move to Florida, I live in North Jersey. Half the people I know live in Florida, but they live down here in
Yeah.
Florida, right?
Yeah.
Danny and Wendy Markel were living up here. And if here's Tallahassee, Georgia's right here,
Oh,
Mississippi's right there, Louisiana's nearby, Texas is not far away.
so why did
So,
I think Georgia was in the north? Sorry, I had Georgia in my mind in the
oh
north for some
no,
reason.
Georgia is very south.
Oh, okay.
Listen, one of my sons and his wife and kids live in Georgia. It is very, very, very southern, right?
Oh,
So, they're down here. Wendy's ways down here in the city. Suddenly, she's up here in a slow, sleepy part of the state where where they're sipping the sweet tea and saying good morning to one another, stuff like that. Things that are unheard of in big cities. So Wendy was like, "Oh, this is not what I had planned for myself," and she couldn't
yeah.
get a job. So
Oh,
because Danny was working at the law school, he talked to people and talked to faculty. Everybody was like, Professor Markel, Professor Markel. Everybody thought he was wonderful. So
hmm.
he got his wife a little job. Then she got pregnant, had one baby, and boom, shortly after that, had a second baby. So she's
As you
got
do.
these two little kids, right? But their whole life revolved around Danny Markel. He's the hotshot professor. She's a woman, a lawyer who works part-time, doing like working with immigrants and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
Danny was the rising star and she was not, and she did not like it.
Oh.
Her mother was like, girl, you should move down here and be close to us. Um, and Danny was like, no, our life is here. So beginning at the wedding, Donna Adelson was getting in the middle of them and making a fuss and making a mess.
Ooh.
There
I
are
bet she was not happy with that.
she hated that her baby did not get to be the shining star. So she continued to sow discord between Danny and Wendy. Ultimately, the couple divorces after 5 or 6 years of marriage. They have a couple of little kids and they get divorced.
Okay.
So Mama Donna is like, this is great. My baby can move back down to civilization, which is where
Yeah.
she called it.
Yeah.
She's going to move back down south to civilization. Every chance she got, she was driving back down south or flying back down south.
Hmm.
But Dan was like, I will not be away from my children. I want to be near my children every moment that I possibly can. And so, no, Wendy, you cannot relocate. Mama Donna and the family were very upset and ultimately were like, you know how we can get Wendy back down in Southern Florida? if Danny is out of the picture. Wendy's
But then,
brother Charlie. Go
oh, I
ahead.
was gonna just asking, where does Charlie get into this crazy mess? Because so
Right.
far you've talked a lot about Donna, because like she seems like she's like the puppeteer, the mastermind behind this whole thing. But I haven't
Right.
heard about Charlie, so now obviously Charlie's coming into the picture now. I got it.
So Mama Donna is like this. Oh, she loves Charlie, her baby Charlie. He's a middle child. He is her youngest son. He is the light of her life. Charlie is a traveling periodontist. A periodontist is somebody like the regular dentist cleans your teeth, right? The
Oh, right. Okay.
periodontist does implants and gum surgeries and root
Oof.
canals and all these sort of things. Yuck. But Charlie, instead of working at one office, figured he could make more money going from office to office to office. So he spends a lot of time in the car
So traveling
driving
around.
around. hmm
But was
He's a
he in Tallahassee, or was he in Miami area?
he was hang on. I'm gonna talk my throat dry.
Yes, you can't do
He
that.
was in
No.
Fort Lauderdale, which
Oh,
is
whereabouts? Sorry.
so
Let's go
here's
to the map
Miami,
again.
here's Miami,
Yeah.
here's Fort Lauderdale, just a little bit north, little bit north. When I fly to Florida, if I can get a cheaper flight, I fly into Fort Lauderdale. They're about a half an hour apart.
Oh, okay. So not that too far. Well, I don't think
Right.
Donna looks like she was gonna let him go too far as well. So.
Not at all. Not
Mm.
at all. And Charlie was out here. He's using steroids, allegedly. He's using the cocaine and other assorted narcotics,
Oh, he was
allegedly.
one of them.
Yeah, he
Enthusiastic.
was a party dude. He barely graduated from periodontal school, but he was doing his thing. Oh, Francois here. Hey, friend, how you doing, girl? Um, so Charlie was out here doing the absolute most, going crazy. And so because Charlie's on the road all the time, he's very chatty. I know a little something about that. He's talking
Hmm.
to his mom all the time. Oh, Judy is here too. Hey, Judy, AA Legal
Hey,
Focus. We've got all our true crime friends in the house
I
today.
know they are
So
showing up on both sides, because I can see a couple of mine on your side now.
that's awesome. That's
Which is
awesome.
good,
Make
because
sure
I
you
am
like
sending.
and subscribe.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sending
like
them
and
to you.
subscribe on both channels. Like and subscribe on both channels. Thank you so much, Fran, for the gifted memberships. Real Talk Bougie, the soundtrack of my day when I'm at
Oh
work
yeah.
and not in another trial. I love me some Fran from Real Talk Bougie. So, anyway, Charlie and his mother are on the phone all the time. Wendy and Mama Donna are on the phone all the time. So, Charlie and the mother start saying, listen, what can we do to get rid of Dan? Apparently, these people made
Oof.
hating Danny Markel their entire personality.
So they did not. Why they did not like Dan? It seems like he wasn't like an outstanding guy, and the only thing that he didn't want was to move from the north to the south. So
Right.
I mean,
They didn't like him because they were used to Wendy being the shining star, and now
oh,
she's married to a dude and he's the
he
shining
was.
star. Also,
And she was
their
just
ego.
housewife taking care of the kids to
That's
support
right.
him, and not the star of the show.
That
Okay,
is
got
right.
it.
They're
Right.
also egomaniacs and terrible people. So there's that, right?
There's that too. Exactly. Right. Okay.
So what
Starting to
happened
make
was,
sense. I guess.
yes. So after the divorce, the Adelson clan got together. Now, keep in mind, there's three Adelson children. There is Rob Adelson, the oldest son, who was an ear,
Oh,
nose, and throat doctor.
oh, we have a new character unlocked. Oh,
Yes. But Rob Adelson was like a nice guy, even-tempered, a well-mannered guy, nice disposition. He saw how
mm.
crazy his family was, and he moved way up north to upstate New York. So he's not
Oh,
geographically close to the family at all.
oh. Okay, so he's not really involved in this whole drama then.
No, except for the fact that he's willing to testify against his mother, he's not involved.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm speechless. That's very rare. Why? Like, how comes this? Hmm.
He knows his mother, he knows his family's crazy and they're narcissists and they're evil.
Oh.
And so he's like, I'm out. I don't want anything to do with this. And so now he has been very clear about the fact that he's willing to testify against his mother and to say how much his mother hated Danny Markel and how much he believes the mother was involved. So
Oh.
they're not really speaking to him. There's a whole bunch of other family backstory, and people can go find that if they want. If you want, Dateline did a whole breakdown of this entire family.
Yeah. I think like in the chat they are talking in my chat they are talking about the Dateline episode. I don't know if someone have already put which the episode is, but I recently got myself Peacock because I can in a very legal and good way I can access Peacock in the US. So I can watch that Dateline and I've been binge watching Dateline. So I
Yeah.
need to figure it out. Oh, here, I've got it. I will put on the screen the Dateline episode, Family Matters. So if you wanna
Yes.
have a look, that is the episode. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you, girl. For that.
Yes.
So yeah.
There's also Dateline did a podcast. I don't know if you can
Ooh.
access this podcast as well, but you know how sometimes Dateline will do a specialty podcast where they tell
Yeah.
one story? Dateline did a podcast that is called Over My Dead Body. They have a whole series of Over My Dead Body podcasts. The one related to this story is called Tally Trap. Tally.
I need to write down.
Over My Dead Body, Tally Trap. And it talks about the wedding. It talks about the brother. It's the only podcast where estranged brother Rob Adelson is interviewed and gives his side of things. But they go into a lot of detail on that Over My Dead Body, Tally Trap.
Oh, apparently the Dateline podcast is on Spotify. Pickle says, so
look at that. Yeah.
if you have to.
Jump on Spotify or any podcatcher because I first heard about this story when Dateline did the spinoff series because every week I would tune in to see what happened next. Yep,
Yeah.
Tally
Ooh,
Trap
that
Over My
sounds-
Dead
I
Body.
have some time tomorrow, so I think I'm gonna.
Yep.
I think I know what I'm gonna be doing tomorrow.
You
Catching
can
up on
binge
this.
listen.
Exactly.
You can binge listen. It's amazing. So the Adelsons decide that they're going to make it their whole personality to hate Dan. Everybody who asks, anytime it's mentioned, all they talked about is how much they hated Danny Markel. And then Charlie, the maestro, who's driving like a fancy car around Miami and doing drugs and selling steroids and all these things, started pricing out hit people. Hey, can I get a hitman to knock off my brother-in-law? He hired the first hitman for $50,000. He was not sophisticated about it. He paid the guy. The hitman just took his money and ran off and never did anything. So they were very frustrated and disappointed, but they were undaunted. They decided, hey, there's this girl that works down at one of the dental offices as a receptionist. Charlie saw her. He liked her. Her name was Katie McBanawa. She's a receptionist because the father was a dentist. Charlie was a periodontist. And then Rob, the brother, the estranged brother, is an ear, nose, and throat doctor. Wendy is a lawyer, a very successful family.
Wow. I would not like to be in that family with that pressure.
At all. But you see how Donna was like, I'm a smart lady. I married a smart man. I had these 3 smart kids. I want my children to partner well as well, so we can continue this family legacy of super smart people. So the marriage makes sense between that Donna wanted Wendy to marry a super smart guy so she could have so she could have a good life and her kids could have a good life. So Charlie sees Katie McBanawa and is like, hey, she's cute, starts dating her, but he dates everybody and nobody thinks anything about it. They start going out, and on one of their first or second dates, he says, now listen, Katie McBanawa is a brown lady from, I don't know her ethnicity, but he's just like, hey, do you know anybody who could hurt somebody? And Katie was like, yeah, I got a couple of kids with a guy who's sort of like a ruffian, and he
Oh,
knows how to do, he's associated with gang members and things like that. What do you want done? So as the story goes, Charlie writes a note and gives it to Katie and says, I'm going to stick this note in your overnight bag. Give it to your baby daddy.
oh
So
wow.
Charlie writes the note and sticks it in the overnight bag. Katie allegedly, now this is their story and they're all liars, but Katie
Well, yeah.
gives the note. Right. Katie gives the note to her baby daddy, and the baby daddy reads, and it's like, hey, I'll give you $100,000 if you unfortunately unalive my brother-in-law. So, however it happens, Charlie pays Katie like a deposit, couple $1,000s in a deposit. Katie
Yeah.
gives that money to her baby daddy. He drives up to North Florida to try and take out Dan. He says to his friend, Sigfredo Garcia is the baby daddy. Luis Rivera is his friend.
Oh wow.
The baby
Okay.
daddy is not a gang member. The friend is a gang member. He's in the Latin Kings.
Oh.
So these two dudes go up to North Florida to knock off the brother-in-law, and the gang member, Luis, is like, listen, why are we knocking this guy off? Why don't we just
Yeah.
rob the dentist and keep it moving? We can collect money. We don't care whether or not this guy gets knocked off.
Yeah.
But Sigfredo, the baby daddy, is like, no, 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 no. We should do this. We're going to get a lot of money. They're not successful on the first trip. They come back down south. They get some more money, a small amount of money for expenses. They take the second trip up to North Florida. And on the second trip, they follow around Danny Markel. They find him. He pulls into his garage. The two hitmen in the car pull in behind him. The baby daddy jumps out of the car, takes his pew-pew, fires a couple shots, jumps back in, and then drives back down to South Florida. They have mostly done the crime without being identified, except for they went to a bank machine where they were caught on tape, and the buses in Tallahassee have cameras, and one of the cameras on one of the side of the buses also caught them on tape. Wendy gets
Not
word.
smart criminals.
Right. Wendy gets word that her ex-husband now, is no longer, he's off at the Endless Heaven buffet. She calls her mother. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. Oh me, oh my. The family freaks out. P.S. They're obviously very secretly happy because now they're like,
Yeah.
oh, Wendy can move down south. And Wendy is like, this is terrible. And as soon as that funeral is over, she immediately moves down to South Florida and starts living with her parents, where in her mind, she's going to live happily ever after without having to worry about her ex-husband. She's likely to get insurance money, and she thinks she's just going to live her life, raise her children, and her mom's going to be able to help her raise the kids, and it's all going to be great.
Wow.
And for many years, for a couple of years, that's how things went.
So when does this like all happen? Because it did not happen like 2-3 years ago, was it? I think it was
11 years ago.
11 years ago. So
11 years ago.
2000. Oh, math. It's Saturday night. I
2014,
shouldn't be
maybe?
doing math.
Judy from AA Legal Focus tells us July 18th, 2014.
Wow. 2014.
Long time ago. Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
that's great. That was the year I moved to England.
It's a long time.
Yeah,
It's a long time.
Wow.
So they thought, okay, this is done. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. But too bad, they're never going to get caught. So, okay, fine. Right. But what happened was, because Danny was so high profile, the police up north in Florida were like, we will never stop looking. This case won't go cold on our watch. Meanwhile, Wendy moves down south. changes her children's last name from Markel to Adelson because
Oh,
she's like, if people are after Markel's, then I don't want my babies to have that name. I'm going to give them the name Adelson so they can be safe. So she changes the boy's last name back to
shoot.
Adelson and hides out in an apartment with her parents, where her mother basically becomes her co-parent, and they raise these two kids.
Oh,
The police never stop investigating. Some time goes by, and they are able to identify the hitmen from because the police are like, well, wait, let's see if we can figure out Danny Markel's day. So they pick up his
yeah,
car on all the different cameras around town, and they say, like, wait, this one car seems to be following him. So they identify the car that's following him. They
yeah.
hunt down the license plate and whatever. They're able to trace the car back to these two hitmen from Miami, but it doesn't make sense. Why would somebody from Miami be after a dude from North Florida?
Exactly. It
So,
doesn't make really sense. So some
right.
poles must have, some antennas have gone out, and it's just like, something is not right there.
Right. So now the job is to connect these two South Florida dudes, these two South Florida known criminals to North
Ooh,
Florida. What's the connection?
ooh.
Over the course of their investigation, they did geofencing, which is to say, let's see what cell phones were hitting on the towers near North Florida that also have hit on towers near South Florida, which is how they were able to identify. They're like, well, wait, of all of these different, all the numbers that would have hit these towers, there's one phone number that is connecting back to South
Oh,
Florida,
okay.
and it's these two guys. They found the rental car that's connected to one of these two gangsters. And so they arrest the hitman, the baby daddy, and his gang member friend, Luis Rivera. The two dudes get paid their money. They're going on
Yeah.
with their life. Time has gone by, and they bring in these two hit people. Well, the baby daddy says, I'm saying nothing. You're getting nothing out of me. He is a low-level criminal. The
Mm.
the Latin king, his friend who was with him, was like, listen, I am not new to this going to jail rodeo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll over and I'm going to tell on everybody. And what he does is he gives up the whole story and tells on everybody and gets a lighter sentence because of it. If convicted, all these people could get life in prison. At the time that they brought him
Oof.
in and arrested him for the crime related to Danny Markel, Luis Rivera was already in federal prison. He was like,
Oh,
listen, I got 19 years in the feds for a DRUGS charge, a schmugs charge. So, yeah, 5 more years on top of this. I can do 5 years standing on my head. So give me
yeah,
just a little
especially
bit
in
more time.
federal.
Right, right. Like club fed.
Yeah.
He's he's like, give me 5 more years on top of it, and I'll tell you everything. And because the prosecutors didn't have anything, they were like, you got a deal, my friend, but you got to
Oh.
testify honestly and you got to tell us everything. And so he did.
And they had to get a conviction out of it so she can get her sweet deal, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Sigfredo Garcia has been arrested. Luis Rivera has been
Okay.
arrested.
So we've got
Luis
two.
takes a deal.
Right.
Sigfredo is now set to stand trial, and then they arrest Katie McBanowa, who was the go-between between the
Okay.
Adelsons
Oh,
and
and that
the
that
hit
was
people.
yeah, and that was the one that was dating Charlie.
Right,
Right. Okay. See,
right.
I'm getting that. This course is effective. You are a good teacher. Right. I'm getting that.
Yes, yes. You're putting it because I know a lot of people know this case is coming up, but they don't know all the ins and outs of it.
Exactly, and there's so many moving parts and so many people, and North Florida, South Florida, and then Donna that was running away in an airplane to Vietnam or something. And so it's
Right.
just like, what is happening? It's like, so I need to talk to an expert. So that's why I'm talking to you. So
I am your gossiping expert. So, Sigfredo Garcia is already in the feds on a schmugs charge,
Yeah.
right? Now, these two parents, the baby daddy and the girlfriend of Charlie, are both on trial. They stand trial together. All the
Right.
evidence comes in, and Sigfredo Garcia gets convicted to life in prison. Katie McBanawa gets a hung jury. And so
Oh.
everybody is like,
Are,
what? I remember when she went to trial, I was freaking out when her jury hung.
so are they gonna retrying her, or they are
They
just?
have already retried her.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm jumping the gun. My
That's okay. That's okay. So apparently, when the trial happened, the state came to Katie McBanawa and said, listen, if you give us the Adelsons, you can walk out of this prison today, no time, but you have to roll over on the Adelsons. Katie
Oh,
McBanawa, with her attorney, Tara Kawas, rolled the dice and believed strongly that she was like, the last jury didn't convict me. I'm sure the next jury will not be able to convict me. And so
oh,
she went to trial. The thing about her hung
oh,
jury
back
was
to 12.
she and her baby daddy were on trial at the same time. The jury voted 11-1 to convict Katie McBanawa. One lady said, I cannot send two parents to prison. Those kids need somebody free and on the outside. And so Katie was not convicted by the first jury. The second trial, Katie was standing trial by herself. Sigfredo Garcia is already in prison for life. Luis Rivera, the Latin king,
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I'll show up at her trial. I'll testify against her. She don't mean nothing to me. Plus, I'm getting this sweet deal. Had Katie McBanawa rolled over on the Adelsons, she would be out free in these true crime streets just like me and you. But she was too arrogant, and she was just like, nah, I'm
Nah.
going to roll the dice. I know Charlie is a rich white man. There's no way he's going to get convicted. He says that he's got my back. And so she goes to trial a second time, convinced that she's going to go home to her babies, but she rolled the dice and she lost. She's convicted and
No.
is sentenced to life in prison.
That was such a dumb move.
So stupid. So
So
stupid.
oh,
Her attorney, Tara Kawas, wept openly in court. Tara Kawas cried as hard as Katie McBanawa at that conviction because they were convinced that they
Vince.
could show this jury what you think happened is not what
Wow.
happened.
That
But
is just and like your comment, and Florida, life is life. There is no
day for
parole.
day.
This oh my day, she's such a dumb. I'm
Yep.
sorry, but that was
Yep.
not a good move.
It's a historically bad loss. I mean, just so terrible. What's interesting is there are a couple of other criminals who have hired Tara Kawas in high profile trials. I get the feeling that Tara Kawas just really enjoys high profile trials because Tara Kawas, Katie McBanawa's former lawyer, is now representing the OnlyFans, the girl who
Oh,
her
Courtney
boyfriend, Courtney
something.
Clemmy.
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
That's the one.
Yes.
Yes. Oh wow.
Tara Kawas's name also comes up in the Rastelli trial. That's it's another case very similar to the Adelson trial, where that mother who was involved in the unfortunate unaliving of her son-in-law went
Oh, was it the
online.
one that was Googling Donna? Yeah, I remember you talking about her, obviously,
Yep,
because I get almost all my information from you. Where else
I'm the
will I get it?
news.
But yeah, because I remember you
Yep,
doing a video about it, and you
yep,
yeah, I remember.
yeah. So Tara Kawas is not known for having an amazing reputation. I just dropped 5 gifted memberships. Congratulations to whoever gets those. Look, Cooler by the Lake, Jean Darlene, KLB, Crimley, and Mary Patterson. Look, there is a lot of members only content on Gossip Rumor and Innuendo, honey.
Yes,
It's a
there's a
whole other
lot to
situation over
digest.
there in the back
Ooh.
room. A
And
whole
sometimes
other
unfiltered
situation.
situations.
Yeah, listen, if I'm recording late at night, by late at night, I mean after 8:30 p.m., where my simply sleep has kicked in, it's a
Love
whole
that.
other kind of party. A whole other kind of party. So back to our story. So Katie Magbanua has been convicted. Sigfredo Garcia has been convicted. Luis Garcia, who's kind of hot in an untouchable kind of way. But I was like, oh, the prison glow up is so real for that brother. Anyway, my kitty has terrible taste in men. Anyway, so these three are convicted, and the Adelsons are like, okay, we can mostly breathe easy because Katie
Yeah.
Magbanua has promised not to roll over on us. And what else could they possibly have? Shortly
Yeah.
after, Charlie Adelson gets arrested at his house.
Oh no.
Since he paid to have his brother-in-law knocked off, his entire life has fallen apart. He's having anxiety attacks all the time. He's nervous. He's anxious. Other people don't want to work with him. Dateline has picked up the case. The Adelson name is mud all over the place. Everybody knows who they are, and
But for the
everybody
wrong
is staying away
reasons.
from them. Right.
Yeah, I saw a
Right.
picture of Charlie. I think it was just before he went to prison. He had his hair all over the place, like he just got shocked,
Electrocuted. Yes.
electrocuted.
Yes.
It's like all these hair was all over the place. I was
Like
like,
a
what
big
is
crazy afro. Yeah. Yeah. That's
exactly?
his mugshot, actually. His first mugshot. He looks homeless. He looks
Yeah.
homeless.
I mean, you
He's
would
having
think
a lot of body pain. He's not sleeping at night. He's having frequent anxiety attacks. He's no longer able to work. He's having, just like his health fell apart, his financial life fell apart. He can't make money like he used to. His whole life has fallen apart, and he's nervous that he's going to be arrested. So after
wow, all
Katie
of this
goes
before you was arrested. I imagine how he's feeling right now in prison
for life.
for life.
So the parents, Harvey and Donna, as soon as the first hit people got arrested, they lawyered up. They hired a lawyer by the name of Daniel Rashbaum to help guide them through the process of what should we do now that people who are semi-close to our family are getting arrested. A former employee of ours has been arrested. This could come back on us. They hired Daniel Rashbaum in 2016 to basically cover their butts and make sure they don't go to jail.
Exactly.
So a couple of years later, Charlie gets arrested, their son, and Charlie is like, ruh-roh. Like, okay, this whole thing has ruined my life. I'm going to go to jail and I'm going to fight it. And Mama Donna says, don't worry about it. We have a lawyer that's been working with us for years now. Go ahead, son, use our lawyer. So Charlie uses his mom and dad's lawyer to defend him. The problem is that Daniel Rashbaum is not a criminal defense attorney usually. He's a lawyer, but he's not that kind of lawyer. But he's made a lot of money off the Adelsons. He's been dealing with them for years, and he's like, don't you worry.
Now
I
he
got
was cashing
this.
in. He's like, now
That
it's
is
my
correct.
time. I'm gonna cashing in. I'm like,
That is correct. So criminal defense work is prepaid. Those defendants give you a big chunk of money, and then you work against that money and just pay it down. Judy from AA Legal Focus is saying he was a white collar criminal defense attorney. So he did,
like federal
money
cases,
crimes.
money laundering. What Natalie Corcoran did before she unalived her husband,
Yes.
the Ponzi
Yes.
scheme girl. Yes. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. He was that kind of lawyer. So Rashi is like, don't worry, I got this. And so Rashi collects his big old bag of Adelson money, and he goes and he defends Charlie. Meanwhile, telling the Adelson family, don't worry about it. Charlie is coming home. This is going to be great. Everything is going to be fine. And so Charlie goes to trial. Wendy, by this point, has distanced herself from her family. Right. And she's like, my kids are big now. Now, at this point, 9 years has gone by. Her little kids are now much bigger kids.
They're not so little anymore.
Right. Shortly, and Bolshevik Muppet makes an excellent point. Talk about the bump. So let me explain to you what the bump is. Prior to Charlie getting arrested, the FBI and everybody was saying like, well, wait, we need more evidence on these people. How can we get more evidence? So they do this thing that I've always heard it called tickling the wire, but it's also referred to as the bump. If there's a wire, right, an electronic wire where they're monitoring your calls and everything, the cops are listening to all of your phone calls.
Oh, the jail phone calls. Yes, right. Yeah,
But
okay.
no,
I am. Oh,
before he even gets arrested, they're listening to the Adelson's phone calls and Charlie's phone calls, but they're not talking about anything. And so the FBI and all those folks are like, what can we do to get these people to start talking? And so they come up with this plan that's later called the bump. They hire a guy to pretend to be a gangster, and he approaches Donna Adelson on the street and he says, hey, one of my brothers is locked up in jail up north and he needs your help. You've taken care of
oh,
Katie financially, but what about us? So Donna's on the street in Miami and she's like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. And he says, here's a piece of paper. You should call me. So Donna's just like, oh, I don't know. And she shoves the piece of paper in her purse and then she goes about her day. When she gets home, she starts making phone calls that are furiously like, oh my gosh, somebody has been in touch. What's going on? And so that bump took the phone lines that the feds were monitoring, it took them from talking about nothing to everybody is talking about this guy has approached us. Somebody's trying to extort us. Oh my goodness, this is a terrible situation. So
oh,
everybody started talking about it and giving away information that the feds would later use against the Adelson family.
oh no! They thought they were smarter than the FBI and all of that. Oh, I'm loving
Right.
it. Oh,
Right. So they're trying to talk in code and do all this kind of stuff, but
hmm.
they're nervous. They're upset. Many years have gone by. They think
Yeah.
they've gotten away with this. And keep in mind, one of the dudes that was involved in this crime was associated with the Latin Kings, who,
Oh.
which is a very
Mm.
well-known gang. But Daniel Rashbaum, their family attorney, called the Latin Kings Aladdin King, as though it were like Aladdin, I can show you the world. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Like the movie, like the cartoon, Aladdin. So anyway, he was just like, okay. So shortly, once the bump happens, everybody's on their phones and they're back and forth and they're talking, talking,
Yeah.
talking. And now the feds who are recording the phone calls have enough information through all these. They
Yeah.
think they have enough information. After the bump is when Charlie is arrested. And then
Oh.
they work very hard to clean up these because the phone calls that they've recorded are all like muddled and it's hard to hear. And there's ones recorded at a restaurant and there's all the restaurant noise in the back.
Noise. Yeah.
So the feds spend the next year and a half, 2 years cleaning up these phone calls so that they can hear the phone calls and the conversations clearly so that they can use this information against Charlie in a
Charlie.
court of law.
Ooh. It never had a
So
chance even before the trial started. It was
it
like,
was
oh,
crazy. There are two restaurants where conversations were recorded live by
mm,
undercover FBI agents. Those two restaurants are Matsuri and Dolce Vita. So those phone calls are referred to as the Matsuri call and the Dolce Vita call. Those are a federal agent overhears on the phone on the wiretaps, oh, they're going to go have lunch at this restaurant. So
restaurant.
a federal
Yeah.
agent goes in and puts his backpack right on the table, sits right next to them, and inside the backpack is a recording device. So this guy's eating his sushi, they're eating sushi next to him, but the person is recording the phone
Recording.
calls.
Oh. They were very
Questions?
good in that investigation. I'm liking this. This is like some other level investigation that they had to do in this case because
Yeah.
they're pulling out all the stops. This is good.
So what's crazy is that in one of the calls in one of the recordings that Matsuri, I think it's the Matsuri call, Charlie is looking, he's nervous, right? This is before he gets arrested. The two gang members have been arrested. Katie is already in jail. Charlie is like, you see that guy right there? I think he might be a federal agent. That backpack might have a microphone in it. And then he continues to sit and keep talking about, like, they're trying to talk in code. The criminal masterminds, they're not.
No.
So they're talking about, like, well, what about the money, and what about this, and what about that? They give away a lot of information on these clandestinely recorded
Yeah.
calls. So, not long after the bump, then Charlie is arrested and taken to jail. The whole family is freaking out. They're freaking
I
out.
can
Like,
only
it was one
imagine. Yeah.
thing, it's one thing to have these people that are not blood relatives to us related, but
Yeah.
now one of our own has been arrested. So
And that's
Charlie
they are
gets
getting
arrested.
closer and closer and closer, and the circle is starting
The
to.
circle is tightening. Charlie gets
Yeah.
arrested. He goes to trial. Daniel Rashbaum, the white collar attorney, defends Charlie, does a terrible job. It's clear that Rashy thinks he's up there doing a great job, and he's like, Aladdin King did this, Aladdin King, which is his way of saying a Latin king. But the
King,
problem is that the Latin king was not the person who was the hit person. The friend of the Latin king did the pew
Oh,
pew. The other problem
wow.
is that this was not Latin King business. The Latin Kings had nothing to do with this. The Latin King in this story was a stick up kid, right? He would go snatch purses and rob people. He
Yeah.
was not in the business of unaliving people, he was in the narcotics trade.
Oh,
So,
he was a narcotic enthusiastic himself, probably. As well.
yes, definitely a narcotics enthusiast. But all through the trial, Rashy kept saying, Aladdin King, Aladdin King, Aladdin King. Charlie did this thing because he was being tortured by Aladdin King. And I was like, okay, if he gets convicted, this not gonna go good. And Charlie goes through the whole trial, is very confident. The jury deliberated for 2 hours, and
Oh, wow.
Charlie is convicted and sentenced. You could tell when he's convicted, he's like, no, like you could see his lips. He's like, no.
That was a fast
He's getting life in
deliberation.
prison.
2 hours. Wow, that was fast.
A very fast deliberation. He's sentenced to life in prison. He's freaking out. His parents are freaking out. Everybody is like, the whole family is like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So Charlie and Daniel Rashbaum is like, wow, this is terrible. Count up my money and see how
Yeah,
much.
exactly. I was
Because
like, I'm gonna make a new pool at my house for sure.
exactly. I joke that he added, like, honestly, he and his wife moved into a new, much larger house. I joke that they added an outdoor kitchen to their mansion, but in truth,
Yeah.
they moved into a very, very lovely new mansion immediately on the heels of the conviction of Charlie Adelson. And I was like, look at that Charlie Adelson money, all that
They
Adelson
were
money at
already
play.
planning during the trial. I think maybe the wife of the lawyer was making all the plans and was house shopping. It's like, oh, a little bit longer on trial would get me that house. Let's see if they can
Exactly.
deliberate.
Exactly. She
Yeah.
was like, okay, better neighborhood, better schools for the kids. I'm driving a
Exactly.
better car, the whole thing. So after Charlie gets convicted, he's talking on the phone a lot. He's chatty anyway. I know a little something about
Why?
that life.
Why do criminals are stupid and go to the phone? Do they not know and did they not hear that the recordings are the calls are recorded and they can and they will be used against them or against any? Why do they do this?
But oh, Chuck must be thinking, I got nothing to lose. I'm already in prison for the rest of my life. And so, of course, the first thing everybody thinks is, oh, what about an appeal? I'll appeal. Daniel Rashbaum reportedly says to Charlie, this is what Charlie told his mom. Charlie, on a recorded phone call with his mother, said,
Mm.
Daniel Rashbaum told me, listen, we don't have good chances on appeal because the judge didn't do anything wrong. The judge called it right down the line and did everything right. So I shouldn't even hire an appellate attorney because this judge did everything right. Which, okay, good if that's true, but Charlie Adelson has money. And do you think Charlie Adelson wants to sit in prison for the rest of his life? He does not.
No. Exactly. Definitely does not, because he's not going to do very well in prison, and I'm sure he's not doing very well now. So
At
yeah,
all. At all. Also, he has put a target on his back because now he's gone from the streets of Miami to the land of the Latin kings, prison. And
yeah.
who is going to protect him against a Latin king while he's
Nobody.
locked up in their territory for the rest of his life? So,
No
Charlie,
one.
the night he's convicted, is hysterical. He's crying. He's upset. He just keeps calling his mother over and over and over and over, calling his mother. So here's the thing about those phone calls. Not only were the Adelson phone calls recorded, my understanding is that they were monitored in real time, which means as Charlie is talking on the phone to his mother, somebody else in another part of the prison has got a
Mm.
phone up to their ear, listening to every word he says. Reception in the prison is bad, right? And so
Well, can you
sometimes
imagine?
the calls drop, and then if you hold on long enough, Charlie will come back on the line. The call goes away, it comes back,
Back
whatever,
and then
because the reception's terrible.
yeah.
Also, you should know that the system that records the phone calls, if you hang up and start a new call, it's $6 to start a new call. Where if you just keep hanging on, you're
Ooh.
paying that per minute rate, whatever the per minute
Six
rate
dollars per
is.
minute.
No, not $6 per minute.
Huh. Oh.
$6 to initially connect the call. It's
Oh.
a high rate per minute, but it's $6 to connect each new call, right? So Donna is like, she's talking to her son. This is how I imagine it happened. Now, this part I have assumed, but it's what makes sense to me. Donna's on her cell phone talking to her son. She puts in wireless earbuds and she sets her phone down someplace. She's walking around the house. She's doing stuff around the house. She's talking to Charlie and she's like, I'm so sorry, son. This is so terrible, whatever, whatever. And then she says, Charlie, are you there? Charlie is gone. Donna has talked to him enough on these phones that she knows, oh, if I hang on for a little bit, maybe he will come back. She thinks that the phone call has disconnected. The phone
Right.
has disconnected on Charlie's end, but has not
Not
disconnected
disconnected on
on
Donna's.
Donna's end. So Charlie hangs up and tries to call his mom back, but it's busy because his mother is still on the
Still
phone.
on the phone. So
But
is Donna
go
gonna say
ahead.
something? It's like I'm watching a show. Is Donna gonna say something that is gonna get her more in trouble? Please say yes.
Yes, she does. So while she's on the phone with Charlie, the call has dropped, right? But Donna is just talking. She's there with friends in the room. And so she's like, yeah, the call dropped. These are not exact words, but this is the spirit of what she said, right? The call has dropped. And, this is so terrible. Poor Charlie. Well, because now she's just
Yeah.
talking, right? She's just
Yep.
having a conversation, thinking maybe Charlie will come back, maybe not. She's still got a Bluetooth linked earbud in her ear, unaware that every
Oh.
word she says is being recorded. So she says to her friends in the room, she talks about unaliving herself, her and her husband taking pills, laying down, going to sleep, and leaving a note or notify. They'll just know when to come and get us. We've had a beautiful life. Everything is wonderful. I tried to talk to Wendy, my daughter, who's an attorney, and I know she doesn't really want to talk to me, but I told her, we're not going to talk about the trial. We're not going to talk about the case. I'm just going to talk to you about finding a country that does not have extradition back
Oh
to the
no.
US. We
Oh.
just need to go someplace where we can go and relax and clear our minds. We need a non extradition country. She goes into all this detail about ending her time on this mortal coil, about fleeing to a non extradition country and getting in touch with Wendy so that they can set everything in order. She talks about the finances that they've set up. She goes into all this detail with her friends. And then finally, you hear somebody walk by and say, whose phone is this? It looks like it's still connected. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's my phone. Now, see, the Bluetooth's still in her ear. She forgot. She's just
Oh.
like, oh, yeah, I guess this call is still going. Bloop. And then she hangs up.
Oh my days.
Crazy.
Like how How can you
Crazy.
not realize that you still with the phone and you? Oh, she's a
But
dum
think
dum
about it.
too.
She's not hearing anything, right? To her
Yeah.
mind, if you once you get used to having that Bluetooth in your ear, it's just there. You're not even really
Well,
thinking about it.
yeah, true, but you would think, if you were a criminal mastermind and you were like orchestrating this thing, she would be a little bit smarter to know that now that
She's
her son is forever home,
yes.
yeah, she would be
She's
next.
arrogant and she thinks nobody's going to catch her. So after somebody hangs up the phone call with Charlie, Donna then picks up the phone and calls friends of hers and says, "Hey, listen, hey, how you doing?
Mm,
How's everybody? I know you guys went to Vietnam not that long ago. Can you recommend a hotel?" And she's asking these friends all these questions about travel to Vietnam. People that
yeah.
she was not close with, people that she has not spoken to in at least 10 years, somebody that's
Wow.
just a casual acquaintance of hers. The casual acquaintance says, gives them whatever information and
Mm.
hangs up the phone and immediately calls the prosecutors like, "Hey, I haven't talked to this lady in months, but now she's calling me asking me about going to Vietnam. You might want to check it out because I think they're going to flee to Vietnam."
Oh, so they got
So,
tipped. That's how they found out that she was gonna go, because otherwise she would be like literally gone.
yep.
Oh.
So 2 or 3 days after Charlie is convicted, Donna and Harvey have packed up their entire world. They've set up all the financial things that they need to get in place. They pack their bags and they go to Miami International Airport to prepare to flee to Vietnam on one-way tickets. Because they bought the tickets last minute, and Vietnam is obviously very far away. And they weren't trying to fly coach. I'm sure
Oh
they went,
yeah.
first or business with the lay down seat, the whole thing. They're
The whole
prepared for
yard
travel.
nine. Yeah, 9 yards. Yeah.
They're prepared to travel. And they're like, okay, we've got in, we've got through security, our bags are checked, everything is good to go. And they're like, their boarding class is called. They walk onto the jet bridge to get onto the plane, and a gentleman steps to them and says, "Excuse me, are you Donna Adelson? Are you Donna and Harvey Adelson?" And she says, "Yes." And he says, "We are federal agents. You have the right to remain silent." And she is arrested steps away from getting on the plane to flee to Vietnam.
Oh, I would be so
Crazy,
mad. I was like
crazy,
so close, but yet so.
crazy. Crazy. It was nuts. This is what you need to understand. I was about to go on vacation. Charlie's been convicted. I was like, oh, I can go on my cruise and relax and not worry about a thing. And I don't know who reached out to me. It might have been Brandy Churchwell. Somebody reached out to me and said, Donna Adelson has been arrested. I was like, where can I get a signal? I'm holding up my phone, running all around the ship, trying to get the best signal, trying to upgrade the Wi-Fi. I was like, oh my God, I'm glad I didn't unplug for this cruise. So when Donna Adelson is arrested,
Yeah.
I made a video. It's me on the Lido deck of Caribbean cruises or wherever I was, like, okay, I hope you can hear me over the calypso music. I'm making a video. I'm freaking out. Donna Adelson has been arrested. I was melting down.
Oh my days, that's amazing.
Melting down. I was like, my husband was like, what's going? I was with my whole family, my cousins, my mother, and I was
Yeah.
like, it's an emergency. They're like, are the kids okay? I'm like, the kids are fine. Donna Adelson was
This is
arrested.
not about the
There's like a
kids.
palm frond waving in the back. You can barely hear me. I'm breathlessly reporting that Donna Adelson has been arrested. And then news started to trickle out that
Oh.
a phone call was intercepted. Like all the things sort of started to trickle out.
Yeah, how it rolled out. Yeah. Oh
Right.
wow, this
And
is
during the
so.
It's crazy. During the course of that video, Donna treats Harvey like he's some sort of invalid. She's like, you can't leave me here. She's like, no, you can't take my phone. No, you can't leave Harvey here. He's an elderly man. How is he going to get home? This is terrible. Oh my goodness. Bah, bah, bah. She's fighting. She's back and forth with him. And so she's like, okay, get in an Uber and go home. Can you get in an Uber to get back home? He was like, yes, I'm fine. She gives him a kiss. She takes off all her jewelry and she's like, you're going to have to get in an Uber and go to the house, as though he's like a mentally incapable
Incapacity.
child.
Yeah. So is this way from when you say sometimes like Harvey's still at the airport because he hasn't figured his way home? So this is where it all
That is
comes from.
correct.
Right. Okay.
I
See,
started
now
a
it's making
rumor.
sense.
Right. I started a rumor that Harvey Adelson was still at the airport, just riding around on the luggage carousel at the
Yeah.
Delta terminal, living off of Biscoff cookies and leftover Dunkin' Donuts, because
Yeah.
those are the things that you always find at the airport.
It
Biscoff
is.
cookies and Dunkin' Donuts, possibly a Starbucks.
It.
So
Well,
I
this is
was
the
like,
rumor channel anyway, so it's gossip
yes,
rumor and an
yes,
innuendo, so it's the best channel for it.
yes. I was like, who could start a better rumor than me? That is
Exactly.
my personal favorite rumor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow, this story, it has everything. It has drama, it has the catch, it has the storyline, it has several characters. There is always something
yes.
going on. Wow, this is amazing. I'm
Unfortunately,
loving this.
unfortunately, unaliving others is apparently an Adelson family value because these people are crazy. But
Indeed.
in truth, it seems that Harvey has been able to get out of the Delta terminal and back to his house. There's word on the street that he's now living up north in Tallahassee. For
Oh,
Donna Adelson, a fate worse than death, as far as she was concerned, was to have her baby girl Wendy stuck in Tallahassee by herself.
and now
And
she's
now,
stuck. Oh wait, now
possibly
where is
for
she
life.
now? Because now she got moved from that jail. Where is she gone now?
She just went to another jail that's about 20 minutes away.
Ah, right. So she's still in Tallahassee. So Harvey's doesn't
Yeah.
has to move again. Okay. All right.
Right, right. I mean, listen, I would like to clear up the rumor right now, once and for all. Harvey has left the Delta terminal. Fancy Fiction, our
Yeah.
friend, I don't know
Breaking
Fancy
news.
Fiction, but I love Fancy Fiction. I
Yeah.
want to do a joint live with Miss Fancy Fiction. I don't even know if she does live streams, but Fancy Fiction had a picture of Harvey Adelson in court the last time Donna had a
Oh
hearing.
wow. So yeah, definitely the rumor is out and it's is not in the airport anymore. But like
Right.
question, so how come is Harvey not in jail, right? Because of this? And
Excellent question.
what about Wendy? Because I know she
Excellent
testified.
questions.
I know she testified in Charlie's trial. Will
Yes.
she testify in Donna's trial against mom?
She is she is currently scheduled to testify in Donna's trial. Um,
Oh.
I don't know when or if or how that's all going to go. Wendy has testified in all of the trials,
And
but they gave her immunity. They gave her like some sort of transactional immunity that says anything you say while you're on the stand, we can't use against you. But if we find out other information outside of whatever
the
you say in
way
court,
they
then
you're
we can
going.
use that against you. Yes, she has
Oh,
limited
she's going
immunity.
now. She's gonna be next. I think they are doing this by stages. They have done Charlie's, they've done Donna, and I think either Harvey or Wendy. We could place bets to see which one. No, I'm joking.
Seriously,
We could place
seriously. But wait, there's more.
more.
So, um, Charlie's in prison for the rest of his life because Florida is a Latin King territory. That
Ooh.
that gang is very is prominent in Florida. He has been relocated to a North Dakota prison. So
Oh,
he's far from his family, far from everything he knows.
hang on. Did you just say North Dakota? Do you think he's in the same jail as Daryl Brooks? Because Daryl Brooks, who just got shipped to.
I heard that they are in the same prison. I don't know that for a fact, but I heard that Daryl Brooks and Charlie Adelson are in the
Are in
same
the
prison.
same.
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
my days, that is just so
Can you
crazy.
imagine? Can you imagine the two of them sitting at like a lunch table together or something? Like
Oh my days, that would have been amazing. Well, not amazing, you know what I mean, but yeah.
it's
Sorry, my
nuts.
mind.
It's
That's
nuts. It's nuts. So Charlie gets shipped out to North Dakota, right? He's instead of following his lawyer's advice and not I'm so happy with all these gifted memberships. It's so amazing. And instead of following his lawyer's advice and not hiring an appellate attorney, he hires the most expensive, the most fancy appellate attorney he can
Ooh,
find
how is he paying for
because
that?
he probably still has some money left.
Oh yeah, so that
Because
means no commissary there, Charlie boy. Yeah.
so he is using up his money to hire
Mm.
an appellate attorney. That appellate attorney goes, wait, you used your parents' attorney? That's a conflict of interest because what was good for
Oh,
your parents and what's good for you, two totally
two
different things.
different things. Yeah.
So when Donna
Oh.
go to trial, Daniel Rashbaum shows up in court like, I'm here to represent my client, Donna Adelson. And so they were like, okay, we need Donna to go ahead and say it's okay to not to use the same lawyer that Charlie used. Donna says
Yeah.
it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I want to use the same lawyer. And Charlie, all the way from North Dakota, is like, wait, I've been talking to my appellate attorney, and no, my mother cannot use my same attorney. She, on the eve of trial, the day before Donna's trial was supposed to start, Charlie's lawyers jetted in and were like, absolutely not.
No.
Charlie does
Wow.
not waive privilege. Donna cannot use Charlie's lawyer. And
Yeah.
so Daniel Rashbaum is thrown off the case. Donna Adelson is hysterical, floods of tears. She doesn't know what to do with herself. She's beside herself. But ultimately, Daniel Rashi is gone.
Yeah.
So
I'm still here. Sorry.
it's
Just
fine.
give me a
It's fine.
second. I can still listen.
Okay, no. Listen, child, you know I can talk all day. So Daniel Rashbaum gets thrown off the case. Donna Adelson is visibly upset, like full the ugly cry while she's in court, heaving, sobbing, hysterical. But she's got to get a new lawyer. The prosecutors are mad, the judge is mad, but Donna scrambles and finds new lawyers. Her new lawyers are Joshua Zellman and Jackie Fulford. Jackie Fulford is a disgraced judge who was thrown off the bench
Hmm.
for who knows what reason. And now Jackie Fulford has set up her practice in a funeral home someplace in North Florida. So I refer to her as the funeral home lawyer because her offices are in a funeral home over there in Wakulla County,
Huh?
Florida.
Oh wow, that's a new name that I have never heard.
Yeah.
That sounds Hawaiian. Sorry. That sounds
I think
Hawaiian.
I think most of these names are like native, they're named after like native Indian
Mm.
tribes and things like that. Tallahassee,
It's a
Wakulla,
good
all of
name,
these
not gonna
things.
lie. I'm not saying anything against the name, but it's just the sound. It sounds like Hawaiian.
Yeah, it
It
does
has a
sound
good
like little
yeah,
Polynesian Hawaiian.
exactly. Love
So
it.
Donna got these two new lawyers, and the two lawyers were like, wait, we need a continuance. We need more time. We need more time. And the judge is saying, listen, Donna knew that if she used these lawyers, that I was not going to give her extra time. So the lawyers have done everything in their power to stretch this out and stretch this out so that they could get more time to prepare for trial.
Mm.
Then the jailhouse snitch came in.
Oh, we
A
have
jailhouse
jailhouse.
snitch A jailhouse snitch has come forward to the prosecutors and said, hey, prosecutors, listen, Donna Adelson is using her lawyer's phone because when a lawyer talks to the client that's in jail, those
It's
calls are protected.
attorney-client. Yeah, attorney-client
Right.
privilege. Yeah.
Right. They cannot be recorded.
Mm.
So allegedly, Donna is using her lawyer's phone to call her husband Harvey during client visits. Is using her lawyer's phone to call her husband Harvey to arrange for more hits on more people.
Oh
The
wow.
people that Donna wanted hurt, according to the allegations, are Katie Magbanawa in prison, Donna Adelson's own son, Rob Adelson, who lives up in New York. And who
What?
was the third person? Oh, the mother of another jailhouse person.
Oh
So
wow. Oh
the
Donna.
prosecutor, Georgia Kappelman, is like, oh, really? So Georgia Kappelman started recording phone calls and they conducted a complete investigation. And they also wanted they tapped Harvey's phone, They tapped the lawyer's phone. They were already recording the jailhouse phone, and then they wanted Harvey's bank records to see if they could show that money was moving from Harvey to these people that he was reportedly paying.
Oh wow. That
So it's crazy. It's
this
crazy.
case has it all. Listen, like when you think that it's, oh, we're going to trial. Yeah, no, hold my pearls. Like literally, it's just so crazy.
Yep.
I'm loving it. I'm
Yep.
absolutely loving it. Yes.
So so when the district attorney went to a judge to say, "Hey, judge, we think these lawyers are crooked," the district attorney went to Judge Everett, who is the judge who is overseeing this whole case, who's overseeing the
Yeah.
whole Adelson case.
I think he looks like a teddy bear. So yes. It's
Yes.
so
You know
cute.
what's funny? He looks like my baby brother. I wish I could show you pictures of my little brother. He looks very, very much like my little brother.
Oh wow.
Except
That
for my
must be
brother is
crazy.
very tall. My brother is very, very tall, and Judge Everett, I suspect, is a little bit short. My brother is super tall, but they look so much alike. It's crazy.
Oh wow.
Little round brown heads, so cute. So what happened was the judge said, "Okay, yeah, you suspect this thing is going down. You think the lawyers are being crooked." So he signed the warrant saying, "Yeah, you could go ahead and tap all these phones."
Oh.
Donna's lawyers, because they were a subject of the investigation, were not afforded the opportunity to come to court and say, "Hey, Judge, this is not what's really happening. Let me explain to you what's really going on." So when it all came out, so the prosecutors tap all these phones, run their complete investigation. At the end of the investigation, they decide, okay, we are not going to bring new charges at this time.
I think they are waiting for the trial to be over to see what's coming out to then after the trial to bring more charges, because I don't think
Right.
they have maybe a statute of limitation, but the trial's not gonna take that long. So they are gonna
Right.
probably be done and over with pretty soon, and then after that they can just bring the charges up and
Yep.
we do this whole process again. Wow.
Yep. But it presents an interesting problem because Donna Adelson's new lawyers, the funeral home lawyer and the other lawyer, who prior to this case reportedly had a good reputation, although as it goes on, I think his reputation, people are starting to have questions about. These two lawyers are saying, wait, you recorded our phone calls with our client. You thought we were doing something wrong. We promise you, we weren't doing anything wrong, but
Yeah.
you can't record phone calls between us and our client. The state of Florida is saying, yeah, we recorded your phone calls, but we sent all of those phone calls to an outside party called a filter team. The filter team listened to them and said, okay, this group of phone calls is them doing attorney-client work. You can't have those. This other group of phone calls is related to this investigation. So the attorneys are like, how do we know this filter team is honest? How do we know you didn't get our secret attorney-client strategy information? So Donna's lawyers showed up in court and they were hopping mad. They were beside themselves with anger and rage, and this is unfair, and they want the judge thrown off the case. And they've gone to the Supreme Court. They've gone to all these other courts trying to get the trial delayed and the judge thrown off the case.
Oh,
Meanwhile, the prosecutors have said, listen, and the lawyers are saying, what is alleged that we did is not true. We didn't break any rules. Georgia Kappelman, the state prosecutor, has said, yeah, what we said happened, but we're not bringing charges at this time. But what she did say was, some of the information that we found out in those calls will strengthen our case against Donna. So we're not worried about bringing charges now. But based on those phone calls, there may be enough information to later arrest Harvey and bring him into this whole thing, where before it's not clear that they had enough for Harvey. Now, if they can't get Harvey on, arrest him for the hit, they can get him for witness tampering. He's an old man. No matter what sentence he gets, it would be a life sentence for him.
But oh no, Harvey's gonna be next.
Yep. Harvey may be the next domino to fall.
Oh, And I'm sure if Harvey goes, Wendy is surely next.
So
Like,
all this time, Wendy kept saying out loud, they can't get me. They can't get me. They're not going to arrest me. They're never going to arrest me. Meanwhile, Wendy has moved out of South Florida. She's now
ooh.
living in Austin, Texas.
Oh, she's well, yeah, but she can be extradited. It's not like she went try to go to Vietnam like her mom. So,
Right. Right. Wendy is fluent in Spanish. She has strong ties to Argentina. So there are people who are afraid she may
that
just
she's
slip her little
gonna.
self over the border and she could
Yeah.
blend in because she's proficient in Spanish. And she's done legal work in Spanish,
Oh.
both in the US and in Argentina. But here's the thing, all this time, Wendy was like, I know my husband is no longer here, but they don't have anything against me. One of Wendy's very best friends recently came forward and was like, hey,
Uh-oh.
I have some information that you, the state, might find useful. So very recently, one of Wendy's former best friends, a woman by the
Uh-oh.
name of Sarah Youssef, was deposed, and she had a story to tell about
Uh-oh.
Wendy and the Adelsons and how they behaved and what went down on the immediate heels of the unfortunate unaliving of Danny Markel. By her own admission, Sarah Youssef says, I don't have a smoking gun. I don't have a bunch of information. I'm never going to go on a podcast. I'm never going to go public, but I do. She at Charlie's conviction, she heard the victim impact statement from the Markel grandparents, and she said, I've been a lawyer, my whole life, and she's been a criminal defense attorney. And she said, hearing this family talk really broke my heart. I connected with them. And so I just want to tell you what I know and how
Oh.
Wendy behaved and how the family behaved in the immediate aftermath of Danny's death. And she believes strongly that Wendy is involved, that Charlie is guilty, and that the Adelson grandparents are absolutely complicit. So she has given a full deposition about her experiences with them immediately after Danny's death. And that deposition was read the other night on Mentor Lawyers live stream. I believe it was
Oh.
last night they did the whole thing. Mentor Lawyer has this little intern named Maya.
Oh.
Maya went through and read every word of the deposition that was given by Sarah Youssef. I'm not going to spoil it here. You got to go over and watch it on Mentor Lawyer.
I am
Um,
making notes. Hang on. Mentor
Deep
lawyer.
dive true crime. Listen,
I
let me
have
tell y'all
plenty of
something.
time tomorrow, so I have a podcast tomorrow and this one so far. All right, okay, I've got my
Judy
best.
from AA Legal Focus is absolutely my wing woman through this whole recap because she keeps prompting me with things that I'm like, I forgot, but Judy is on it.
Oh,
So,
my
yes,
days. I need to go through the chat then. I'm gonna go through the chat
yep.
after too.
Yeah. Shout out to Judy. Go find her channel and subscribe to it. AA Legal Focus, which does not stand for African American Legal Focus like I thought. It stands for Asian American Legal Focus. And Judy is awesome.
Oh,
But
wow.
so that is the latest. That gets you entirely, completely up to date on the Adelson family values, which their family values are very few. But this is
Yeah.
your crash course. What are your questions?
Wow. Well, where do we start? Because this is insane. Um, how is this family like? This family is gonna be all behind bars. We're gonna be hearing the Adelson's behind bars reality show soon, because coming to
Yeah.
a TV near you. I mean, I
Yeah.
think wow, you pretty covered. So when is this trial? When is Donna coming to trial? When can we expect this thing to?
The
Yeah.
trial has been delayed several times. Right now, it looks like we're looking sometime in early August for it to
Ooh.
come to trial. That assumes there are no more delays. But Judge Everett had set it for like around now, like early June.
Yeah.
And it was set for like September, like the fall last year. Then then Daniel Rashi was thrown out of the case. So it keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed. Right now, the start date is scheduled to be early August. We'll see what happens unless she
Right.
takes a plea. What if I don't think she's going to take a plea. Thank you,
Mm.
Judy. It's
Uh,
August 19th is
August
when they're set to
19th.
start.
That's
Yep.
gonna go on my calendar because I am
August
gonna be
19th.
streaming
Honey,
that
write it in
trial.
pencil. Write it in pencil because the date keeps moving. But right
I
now, it's
didn't write
scheduled
it in
for
pen.
August
Oh well,
19th.
I can always rub it out.
Scratch a line through it. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, it's August 19th for now. We'll see what
Mm.
happens.
We'll see what happens. But I mean, and how long is it supposed to take? Is it like gonna be just like a couple weeks? Not gonna be a long one,
I
is
mean,
it?
I don't imagine it's going to be a super long trial. I don't remember how long Charlie's trial took. I want to say like 3 weeks, something like that. It didn't take a super long period of time, but
Okay.
yeah, Judy is saying probably 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks sounds about right.
Yeah, that's a normal. It's not like gonna be like Brian Koberger. There's gonna be like three
Right,
months. That one
right.
is, but and
The
I was like,
internet is going to
mm,
explode when Donna Adelson
mm,
goes on trial, and then immediately after to see who gets arrested next. Because
yeah,
up there in Tallahassee, it's like they let one domino fall, and then they wait, and then they grab the next one, and then they
yeah.
grab the next one. They're very patient up there.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, for the 11 years for this whole case to be ongoing and
Crazy.
they're still going through the family. I mean, I hope the family's not that big because, we've 11 years for Markel's family to wait for everybody to go to jail. That's going to be
Yep.
crazy. But I think I was like, so where are the kids? Where are like the Dan and Wendy's kids at the moment? Are they going to
The
testify
boys
for
are
any?
teenagers. The boys
Oh,
are, they were babies when this happened. They were like 2 and 3, 3 and 4,
okay.
something. They were really little when this happened. Now
Oh,
they've both been bar mitzvahed. And so in the Jewish faith, you get your bar mitzvah at, I believe, age 13.
oh wow.
And
Okay.
so one had a bar mitzvah last year. So they're probably like 14 and 15 now, something like
Ooh.
that, 13 and 14. They're young teenagers.
I wonder how they feel about all of this and all about this craziness. Seeing the uncle, see how the grandmother now in, and possible
Yeah.
soon the mom going down for this whole
Yep.
craziness. It's very sad for them, and
It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh wait, rumor has it a while back that Wendy was looking into putting them into boarding school, but I
oh,
don't know if that happened. Look, AA Legal
hmm,
Focus for the win,
I
honey. It
know.
makes
Wow,
sense that she would put them in boarding school. I have also heard rumors that Wendy has prepared herself to be arrested in that she has good estate planning, which means her money is tucked away so that it cannot be touched.
touched.
Also,
Ooh,
that the home that she owns is held in a trust so that if anything happens to her, um the her assets are protected. If you put things in a trust, that if somebody sues you or goes after you, they won't be able to touch the things that are in a trust. My understanding was also that Donna and Harvey put a lot of their money in trust too for their grandkids. So
oh.
people think, oh, all of their money is getting spent up, and it might be
Mm,
being spent up. A big
a
chunk of it
part of
is.
it, yeah, but not all of it, and they gonna live for the kids. Yeah, well, they're gonna need because if the grandparents and then the mom is gonna be in jail, the uncle is in jail, dad sadly is not in this mortal coil anymore, and they're
Yep.
gonna need some help definitely. So at
Yeah.
least they're doing something
Yep.
nice, you
They're
know.
preparing. They're preparing to be out of these kids' lives, which is
Oh yeah,
crazy to think. They were so short-sighted in thinking, "Oh, we'll just get rid of Danny and that's going to be
and
that."
that'll be it. And then no,
It's
they
not that
probably were
easy.
smart because it's like I don't think I have that many questions because you were fantastic in explaining, and I'm like
Aw,
I'm invested into this case, and I think I might go down a rabbit hole at some point on this case because
it's
um
an easy rabbit hole to fall down.
yeah,
It's an
exactly.
easy rabbit hole to fall down.
And I fall in rabbit holes very easily because I went on one from Brian Koberg the other day, and the last trial that we covered, that was absolutely insane. So it's very easy to go
Yeah.
down a rabbit hole, and I can see myself going. I can
This one
predict
is
the future.
complicated. This one is
Oh yes.
complicated. There's a lot of people. And once you sort of understand who all the players are and how they interconnect, like I did all of this off the top of my head. I have not one note,
Wow.
not one anything, but I've been
You're
so engaged in
amazing.
this case for so long that it's like I know the people. When Katie Megbanawa was when her first jury hung, I wasn't on YouTube. I was just like, I remember being at work and being like, what, a hung jury? Oh my God. And people were like,
Wow.
is this a friend of yours? And I was like, oh, no, I just, it's just a case I follow, Crazy,
I know
crazy.
it's absolutely crazy. I was gonna say something
Yeah.
and then now I forgot. It just went out of my mind. It will come back eventually, and if it doesn't, well, wow. I know what I know when I go down the rabbit hole, I'm gonna be rewatching this part, but only your part when you're talking because I cannot hear myself to make a whole timeline because I'm a visual person and I need a timeline
Yeah.
of this event. And I like timelines, I like spreadsheets. I have literally a
S-
spreadsheet for all the cases that I've followed. It's crazy.
Churchwell
Um,
Charts. Brandy Churchwell has done a beautiful, hang on, let me see if I can find it. For cases that she follows, Brandy
mm,
Churchwell will often make a chart for people who learn visually.
yes,
CHURCH
that's me. That's me
charts.
present.
Um, I
A visual
believe
learner.
she has done a whole chart
Ooh.
for the Adelson crime family. Let me see if I can
Ooh.
find it really fast.
Uh,
She has got so many trials on here these days. Hang on. Ba, 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 ba. She might have. Oh, wait. Karen Reed, Lori Malley. Oh no, she doesn't have one for this one. I think she
oh.
used to. I feel like I've seen it. Listen, you might be the person to make the chart. Make the Churchwell chart that explains she's got a bunch of cases on here, but she does not have that case
Well,
here.
no, yeah,
Um,
mine are never gonna be as good as Brandy because Brandy's timelines are up there. Mine is probably never gonna be as close even as that. I can try, but I don't promise anything. And if it goes wrong, I do not speak English. So, just saying.
Oh my
Uh,
goodness. Oh my
oh
goodness.
my
Well,
gosh.
wonderful. My
I
my
know.
dogs are starting to whine, so I'm gonna
Yes.
have to go feed the puppers in a minute and
No,
probably
and
also the
it's
kids.
yeah, and it's almost midnight over here on this side of the pond. So
Oh my
yeah.
God. I've kept you up all night. I'm so sorry. Oh my
Well, I'm
God.
spending my Friday night, my Saturday night with y'all. So what's wrong with that? I love it. It's absolutely
Oh,
fine. So
so wonderful.
yeah,
Well,
and
listen, thank you for inviting me. And if
thank you for
anybody
coming.
has not done it, get yourself over to
Thank
True
you.
Crime Addict 8 and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know every time Katia jumps on these YouTube streets.
Yes, because
Let's get
yeah,
that subscriber count up. I am less than 500 subscriptions away from my goal of 20,000 subscribers by my birthday.
yeah. And I
My
know a
birthday's at
few
the end of
people has
June.
gone to over to your side. I've been dropping your link in my chat regularly, and my mods have
Oh,
been
good,
doing
good,
so
good.
awesome.
So
Because
sweet.
we
Thank you,
need to
thank you,
get you
thank
there,
you.
obviously.
Yes, I
So
also have
yeah.
an Adelson crime family playlist. So
Oh,
if anybody is like, wait, what? Every time there was an Adelson hearing or trial, I would record a video. I'd take 8 hours of trial coverage and smash it all down to about 20 minutes and explain what happened that day in court. I have a whole playlist
mm,
that is all things Adelson family. So if you go over to Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo,
yeah.
you'll listen. If you just Google Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo, you'll see my
It
big
will
old face,
exactly. It will show up like literally there. Yeah, absolutely.
gigantic, filling your screen. But I have an Adelson
Yeah.
crime family playlist, so you can get entirely up to date on all things Adelson
Yeah.
and
And
be
I'm
ready when this
planning to
trial starts on
stream.
August 19th.
Yeah, and
Uh
I'm
huh.
planning to stream the trial. So
Yes.
you can go
Yes.
obviously to for a quick recap and a quick listen to Kathy, and then if you want to join for the stream, you can pop over to TCA's little chat.
That's awesome. And so listen, when you start streaming the trial, make sure you send me a link to your live stream because you know
Oh
I'll
yeah,
get
we'll
busy
do.
and I'll forget. So
Yeah.
I can plug it. I'll put it up
Oh,
on
thank you.
I'll put it in
Appreciate
my
you.
notes so
Thank you.
people can find you. Of
Oh,
course. Of course, of
thank
course, of
you.
course.
Oh, awesome. Appreciate it. I always have so much fun talking to you, and we could talk all night, but I don't
I
think the
know.
garden bot would be very happy because my husband already went to bed, and I don't think he would be very happy with me. But
Go snuggle your hubby. Go snuggle your
I
hubby. I'm
will.
gonna go feed my greedy
Yes,
dogs and my
yes,
greedy self.
exactly. Have a great night. Have a great night, morning, wherever you guys are. Thank you very much. Have an awesome day, and I'll
Thanks,
see you
everybody.
soon. Bye.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And I'm a real-time crime professional.